Welcome to the December 7th, 2023 board meeting, code enforcement meeting of Seminole County. I'd like to read something for the record here for a moment, if I may. Before we begin, I'd like to advise everyone about the procedures that govern appearances before the Code Enforcement Board. This meeting is open to the public under Florida's Government and Sunshine Law. Therefore, every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence or arguments to offer. It is required that every person who appears before the Code Enforcement Board needs to be registered with the clerk. The cases where the respondents are present and signed in will be heard first. You'll be sworn in or affirmed by the clerk. Once all cases where the respondents are present have been heard, the Code Enforcement Board will hear the remaining cases as they appear on the agenda. When your case is called, please be seated at the table reserved for respondents. Where's that going to be today?
That table.
Okay, so you'll be in the blue?
No, the regular.
Oh, the normal one? Oh, okay, it'll be right here. The county will present their case, and then the respondents will be allowed to present their case. Additionally, please limit your comments to only information related to this case. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. Additionally, staff members may question those appearing before the Code Enforcement Board. The board will then make their decision based on the evidence and testimony as presented by both parties. All proceedings before the Code Enforcement Board are electronically recorded. Please speak directly into the microphone at the center of the table and state your name clearly before presenting your case. Should you need any assistance due to a hearing impairment or language barrier, please inform the clerk upon registration. All cell phones and other devices should be turned off or silenced while inside the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, we're going to call roll, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll for us, please?
Yes, sir. Dennis Warren.
Here.
Dudley Bates.
Here.
Kevin Ross Andino.
Here.
Donald Peterson. Catherine Townsend. Here. Craig Davis. Yvette Brown.
Here.
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Seeing that we have a quorum, we'll go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're going to be testifying today, please remain standing after the Pledge of Allegiance so we can swear you in. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you're going to be testifying, please remain standing, raise your right hand, and the clerk will swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Thank you. I'm going to recommend and looking for a motion to revise the agenda slightly to take the following two cases, first and second. These cases in your book are case number it'd be item 3 on page 4, case number 23-23-CEB, Douglas Gowron, Bank of New York Mellon. There are 3 cases attached to that respondent, and then I would suggest that we take item number 10, which can be found on page 8, Scott E. Bennett. There is 1 case for that respondent. Can I get a motion to revise the agenda to take those 2 cases first?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Ms. Townsend.
I have one question. So you named with the Douglas Gowron only 2, but on the next page is a 3rd one.
There are 3. Thank you so much.
It'll just same motion as all 3 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
23-23 CEB, 23-24 CEB, and 23-25 CEB. Thank you. So the same motion, just for the record, just had that 3rd case in, and we had motions voted. Did we vote?
Yes,
Yes,
we're
we
all
did.
agreed.
Okay, I'm confused here. Thank you. Okay, that being said, if we can, and we'll take the remaining cases in the order that they are, as I had mentioned. If we can have the first case step up, the respondents to be item number 3, 4, and 5, Douglas Gowron and Bank of New York Mellon. I believe the bank is here for that case.
Yes. My name is Kim George on behalf of the Bank of New York Mellon.
Thank you. And who is with you, ma'am?
Doug Gowron?
Is he going to be testifying? Or?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you're the respondent. I got you. Thank you so much. I didn't realize you were both here. Okay. It's your turn to go. Go. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Tamara Judges. I'm with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation for the clerk as Exhibit 1. This case is this case is 2323 CEB, Douglas Garon. The violation is located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. The violation charge is Seminole County, Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3F, stagnant or foul water. And then here's a list of my initial inspection, my notices to the respondent, the compliance date, all of the follow-up inspections, and my most recent inspection was yesterday, December 6, 2023. Results of the follow-up inspections, the pool remains to have stagnant or foul water inside, as I was not able to see the pool. And then these are pictures of when I was able to see the pool on some of the inspection dates.
My turn?
No, not yet, sir. That is a picture of my posting, which was on November 21st, 2023. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2323 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, is the owner of the record property located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3F. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case number 2323 CEB, is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, is the owner of the record property located at Sugarwood Circle. The violation. And then further recommended that the code enforcement board issue the order that to correct the violation before midnight of January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must have remove the stagnant water from the pool. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $250 a day will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact Code Enforcement Officer Tamara Judges, arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Judges? Mr. Bass?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you were not able to inspect the pond this time.
That is correct.
Why is that?
I spoke to Mr. Garon on the phone. He was at the home. He had stated that his ex-wife had been in a car accident and he needed to go get her, so he would not allow myself or the deputy back onto the property.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, again, this is the first of three cases. I'll call this the stagnant.
Yeah, let's just hear this one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, let him speak.
Yeah, okay. The stagnant water case, and then we'll go from there. The other two are rather different. Mr. Garon, as you heard, this is your opportunity to speak to this case. We're going to have the other two to follow it, but anything
I
relative?
understand her to say that I have until January 24th?
January 4th.
4th, that's fine. I was going to ask for 30 days. That's fine. The water's not stagnant. My son is raising fish in the pool. And when we had that storm, the retention pond overflowed, came into the pool, killed the fish. So I don't know what they're putting in the pond, but I'm going to pump it out. So it'll be done by January 4th.
So you're good with that date? Thank
Wait,
you.
what brings him into compliance?
For this case, the pool, either the water needs to be clear. He can have the fish in the pool, which he knows. I just stated that the pool has to be clear. I had another case like that, and they can have a koi pond as their pool if they want to, or the pool needs to be drained.
Okay. Just so everyone's on the same page as to what compliance
Good point.
is.
Thank you.
Why don't you continue that, because this is a pet peeve of mine. That's so that if someone falls in the pool and drowns, you can see them at the bottom of the pool, right?
As of right now, the last time I saw
Oh,
it.
no, I'm saying, that's the point here, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
We would
Okay.
suspect that.
Yeah.
Now, there's a
Yes.
6-foot fence around my property, so that would mean somebody had to go to a lot of effort to get in the pool and drown.
We
So
understand.
we have ponds around here, and they have no fences. Little boy drowned over in Sunrise last year, maybe longer ago.
Sure.
I think they should be fenced. We could make a note of that. There's no fence at all. Got it?
Yes, sir. You heard what it takes to come into compliance.
Yes, I did.
You're still good with the date?
I'm fine.
Bank, do you have anything to say?
The bank wants it complied with also. We did get a foreclosure on this property back in June, and we are trying to get the sale reset. So until title shifts, either to us or a third-party buyer, there's not a lot we can do. I didn't think I could get that sale by the January 4th date. So if anything, we would want a longer extension for this case and the cases that are coming up, which I'll reference on the record for each of those. I'm going to try for a February date, but again, we can't do much until it goes to sale.
Okay. We still give that weight, I guess, in our consideration?
No, that's not, they're not actually a party to the action right now.
Okay.
They have a lis pendens, but the owner is still owner of the property.
Okay, so I guess I was giving you permission to speak as a witness, but as far as us giving that weight,
Yeah.
okay, so any questions to the board for Mr. Garan or Officer Judges?
So you can make a determination on this one and move to the
So
next
are we going to
one.
make the 4th or not?
Yes. Well, that's,
He says he can make the
he
4th.
says he can do it, yeah.
But she just said that,
But she's from the bank, so she's not really the respondent. She's, as a witness, we allowed her to speak, similar to a neighbor or a relative, but apparently...
He's still the owner. Legally, he's still the owner of the
but
property.
the owner is committing to
The
be,
4th,
have this in compliance
Yes.
by the 4th.
yes.
Good enough for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we can, on this, it pertains to this particular case, if anyone has a motion.
I move to accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Mr. Ross makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Bates, on this particular case, 2323 CEB, to accept staff's recommendation as presented. Any other discussion? That was seconded by Ms. Townsend. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Second was by Mr. Bates, not me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, second by Mr. Bates. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's where we're at. So you have till the 4th. It moves us to the next case, 23-24 CEB, Douglas Garan, same address, which, not sure if I read it into the records, 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. And Officer Judges, if you want to proceed.
Okay. Tamara Judges, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. Okay. This is case 2324 CEB, Douglas Garan. The violation is located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. The violation charge is Seminole County, Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. And then there, again, are a list of my initial inspection, notice to respondent, compliance, dates, follow-up inspections, and results of the follow-up inspections. My last inspection was on December 6th as well. The results of the following inspections, the rubbish remains on the property. And here are pictures of the property.
Same response. I was going to ask for 30 days.
Okay. Let her complete. She's almost done.
Just so you know, Mr. Garan, they're looking at the PowerPoint behind you, just so you know.
That explains it. And sir, you're welcome to be seated if you want, or you can...
I'm more comfortable standing.
Okay, yes, sir.
This was a picture of my posting on November 21st, 2023. Okay, that is a picture of my posting that Mr. Garan has turned around that states Cats Lives Matter on the front of his property.
They do, don't they?
The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2324 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, is the owner of the record of the property located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, located in Seminole County, as determined by property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3A. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in a case number 2324 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, the owner of the record property located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3A. And it is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue the order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must have the rubbish removed from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the code enforcement officer, Tamara Judges, to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Questions for Officer Judges? Seeing none, Mr. Garon, this is your opportunity, sir.
Well, Tamara got involved in this thing to begin with over a cat. It was hit by a car, not my own cat, and I buried it, and the neighbor got all annoyed for whatever his reasons were. And he called 4 agencies the next day, and they showed up at my property. Fire department, code enforcement, animal control, and the police. Okay, he's just using these agencies to attack me. So that's why I put the Cat Lives Matter on the sign, because that's what triggered it. But same thing, January 4th, I'll have it cleaned up.
So you're good with the date?
I'm good.
And it just all has to be gone to accomplish this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions on this, or a motion?
I move to accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Mr. Ross makes a motion to accept staff's recommendation as presented. This time I'll go with Mr. Bates. There's a second, and which the recommendation is compliance by January 4th or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And brings us to the third case, case number 23-25 CEB, Douglas Garon, Bank of New York Mellon, Liz Pimmons, 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, 32792. Officer Judges.
Tamara Judges, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This case is 2325 CEB Douglas Garon. The violation is located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. The violation charge is Seminole County, Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3E, abandoned vehicles. And again, here are my dates of initial inspection, notice to respondent, compliance date, follow-up inspections, which my last follow-up inspection was on December 6, 2023. Results of the follow-up inspections, the inoperable vehicles remain on the property. So here we have several vehicles and boat vessels that have been on the property since January of 2022 and still remain.
You go back to that.
We'll be with you in just a moment.
That is a picture of my posting that was on November 21st, 2023. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2325 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, the owner of the record property located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, Winter Park, Florida, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraisers, records in possession or control of the property and is in violation of County Code Chapter 95, 95.3 as defined in 95.3E. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2325 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Douglas Garon, the owner of the record of the property located at 1509 Sugarwood Circle, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3E. And it is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must have the vehicles operable or stored in a garage, carport, or permitted structure. The vehicles can also be removed from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact Code Enforcement Officer Tamara Judges to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. And just to give the board a little bit of background, I did give Mr. Garon of extended amount of time for his violations on the property due to everything that needed to be done. Also, a combination of factors have prolonged this case: scheduling conflicts, illness, and cancellation of follow-ups due to both parties, a change in the verbiage for the inoperable vehicles, so I had to resend out violations, in addition to not having code board for a couple of months. But with that being said, I feel January 4th is more than enough time because he's had over a year to get all of this into compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Judges?
I think she's been very generous.
Well, I never asked for an extension, generous or not.
Sir, one moment. Seeing none, we're going to move. Mr. Garon, now is your opportunity. Go ahead.
Okay, can you go back and frame at a time, take a look at the
Which
vehicle?
picture did
We
you
need to
want?
be more specific about these.
Is there a particular photo you wanted to see?
All of them. Okay, you can't go that way.
I'm going from the beginning, sir.
Okay, behind the white car is a truck, that's gone, that was sold. Okay, the boats are my boats. The one on the-
I'm sorry, he's got to speak into the microphone. Sir,
Mr. Garon, could you speak into the microphone and still accomplish?
Mr. Garon, you can look over here and be able
Okay.
to speak into the microphone.
Okay, the Tahoe on the left is gone, was sold the other day. The Explorer on the right is my daily driver. So you're not, I'm not gonna sell it or want to move it, I use it, and the other one is gone. Okay, you're looking at my son's Mercedes and the hood of the Tahoe, which is gone. So what are you saying about the Mercedes runs? What do you need to know about that?
You have not been able to prove to me that they start, and you have refused on several occasions to start the vehicles for us. So in that aspect, when the vehicle hasn't moved in a year and you won't start it for me, I have to assume that it is inoperable and they have flat tires as well.
Well, you're assuming about a vehicle that's
Okay,
not
Mr.
there.
Garon, from this point, if you could direct comments, or if you have questions, relay them to us, and we'll make sure they're answered for you, but don't want to get into a back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, so I heard her answer. Do you still have additional questions? We'll get them answered for you if you do.
I sure do. Okay, that's an antique Volvo that's in my backyard. And something is going to happen to it because the neighbor cut down a big limb of that tree and landed on the roof of the Volvo.
Is it running, sir?
It's not running.
Okay.
But it is behind a fence. It's not visible to anyone.
it can't be there. If it doesn't run, it needs to be in an enclosed location or a carport with a manufactured car cover.
Okay,
Okay.
go on. The Beetle's gone, it was sold. The Explorer is my daily driver. The boat is operable, it's a sailboat. Same thing. Beetle's gone.
Yeah, so she needs to make an appointment with you, and you both need to do a walkthrough, so you can show her what works and what doesn't work, and then she can tell you what can stay and can't stay. So do you think you're going to make the 30 days? Can you do that by January
Who
4th?
am I talking? I can't, oh, it's you.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I can make it 30
Okay.
days.
All right.
Okay. Ma'am, you don't have anything to add, or?
I mean, just the same, I don't really have a good position here. We want it complied with also. I would just ask that if he tries to facilitate that appointment, that be set in enough time for him to correct anything that's still not running. We don't want fines on the property, and in the event that at the sale it comes back to us, these fines will be accumulating from January. So I'm working hard to try to get a sale as soon as I can. But other than that, there's not a lot I can do. I think the January 4th date is a short time frame. I mean, we're under 30 days at that point.
Understand. Are you all available next week, or whoever would be meeting him? Because we do have, after that, holidays.
Like me to ask for more than 30 days?
If he, to meet out there again, to...
For next week?
Yes.
I mean, if you'd like to, yes, we can do that.
Is that, I'm trying to speed it up, and I don't know, sir, you're the main player here, so you heard what needs to be done, and it would be best if the code enforcement officer would meet with you and clarify what needs to be done. Can you meet this coming week sometime?
I can.
Okay, give her a call. That's probably what's going to happen here.
This isn't the January 4th thing we're
Well,
talking about. This is just
no,
to
this is to make sure you
clarify
can
what
meet,
needs to be done kind of thing.
to make sure you can meet the January 4th. So,
Now, she would like more time. If I request another, make it 60 days, not for me, but for the bank, is that okay with you guys?
you can make whatever request you want, and the board will give it
Okay, requesting that.
the consideration. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Garan or Officer Judges? Okay, so what we have is,
I move to accept the recommendation as is with no modification.
Second.
there is a motion on the floor by Mr. Ross, second by Ms. Townsend, to accept staff's recommendation as presented. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? So, sir, we're giving you till the 4th. You can meet with, I would suggest you call Officer Judges, set up a meeting sometime that's convenient for you. You both said you're available next week, and hopefully you can get that rectified.
Okay.
And we certainly appreciate your time. Brings us to the next case, which is on page 8, I believe.
Thank you.
Case number 10, Scott E. Bennett. 14, actually, the case number is 23-26 CEB. It's item 10 on the agenda. Scott E. Bennett, 1493 Devaney Court, Geneva, Florida, 32732. This be Officer Hill's case. Whenever you're ready, sir. Ma'am.
Officer Hill, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Code Enforcement, East Region. I'm submitting a copy of my PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is the lien hearing for 2326 CEB, Scott E. Bennett, located at 1493 Devaney Court in Geneva, Florida. Violation was charged with Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4 as defined in 95.3B. The case was originally heard by the Code Enforcement Board on July 27, 2023, and an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of September 30th, 2023. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the Code Enforcement Officer after reinspection on October 2nd, 2023. These are photos from the inspection per the code board order. These photos were taken on the day of the posting for this hearing. These photos were taken yesterday. So based on the testimony and evidence presented in case 2326 EB is determined that the respondent, Scotty Bennett, is the owner of record located at 1493 Divinity Court in Seminole County, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3B. Based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law and order, I'm asking the Code Enforcement Board to issue an order constituting a lien in the amount of $3,400 for 68 days of noncompliance from October 1st, 2023 through and including December 7th, 2023 at $50 per day, and the fine shall continue to accrue at $50 per day for each day the violation continues or is repeated after December 7th, 2023. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hill?
So if I'm reading this correctly, no progress has been made since our July hearing, and the $3,400 is for the failure to comply during that period of time, or is that after October 1st? I just don't know where the $3,400 comes from, I guess.
That comes from midnight of the code board order.
Okay.
Mr. Bates, you look like you may have some question.
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. In this, the type of residence, I'm sorry, I know it's in Geneva, and is this, what's it zone? Is it residential area?
Agricultural.
Sounds right. I have to look it up real quick.
Remember, you're not here to rehear the case.
Yes, okay.
It's A5.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me, Mr. Bennett, this is your opportunity to speak to this violation.
I don't know really what to say here. I have mowed the lawn. I've been keeping it mowed. She said I haven't done anything at all. That's not true, completely not true. Some of these pictures she has it's actually dirt piles. They're not just grass that high. It's dirt and it's mounds. It's uneven. I live out in Geneva. It's zoned A5. It's not in a neighborhood. It is a wooded. My entire property is wooded. Three-quarters of it is covered by nothing but woods and palmettos. It's not, what I consider right around my house. I keep mowed and it's not overgrown. So I don't know where exactly I'm trying to comply. I don't know where exactly do I have to mow? Do I have to mow down the entire 7 acres, trees and palmettos and all? I don't understand what it is.
Have answers to that, and your opportunity to contest in any way was at the first hearing that was posted and presented, and any time.
I thought this was I thought I did comply. I thought I did take care of this.
Yeah, well, apparently, no, and obviously, as you can see by the pictures, no, but she would have the answer. She could tell you exactly what needs to be done on a regular basis from this point in time, because the Code Board already made a decision and heard this, and any subsequent violations are going to go into an automatic violation. So.
I have told him in the past, it's just grass and weeds that are over 8 inches in height. Dirt pile or no dirt pile, weeds and grass over 8 inches in height have to be mowed. I will tell you, if he did mow it, he is not in communication with me at all. He had 3 cases that came before the board. The last one, he had a later compliance date for another violation that was ordered by the board, and I had called him a couple of days prior to that to let him know I was coming out for a reinspection. I never heard from him. Then the day that I did go out for the reinspection on the other violation, I met with his girlfriend. I gave her my business card. I said, please have him call me, text me, email me. All the information's on the business card.
I did call
A couple of
him,
days later,
voicemail.
he did call me at 5:41 p.m. I was already off duty, so I called him the next morning at 7:30 a.m., and that was on November 7th, and I've never heard back since.
Thank you.
I work 12, 14 hours a day. I don't have, I call her when I can. She never answers because she's off duty already.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, well, do I just need to can I make an appointment with her, or do I speak with the lady? I have her number already, so, and she walked me through, and
Just give her a call, yep.
then what happens, what comes next? I mean,
What you see up there is, this has already been in front of the board. The board's made a decision that any future violations, which is where we're at right now, are going to be fined at the amount that was determined at the first hearing. And so my suggestion to you is get it cut as quickly as you can, let her know, stay in communications with her, and moving forward, try to make sure it's cut. I don't know, sir, I don't know what else to tell you. It sounds like she's, when you hear the whole shebang, she's done all she can do, trying to help. That's how I see it.
that's my point is, I have been getting it cut, and I don't know. Okay, so, what is the $3,400, what is that?
Well, we have a recommendation based on the facts of this case to, and I'm talking to the board now, so we're through with yours for just a moment, that we find that there is a lien in the amount of $3,400 for 68 days of noncompliance from October 1st through December 7th, and that would be at the $50 per day. That's the recommendation. Is there any further discussion on that? Need to hear from anybody else?
It's already in place.
Well, you're going to be issuing that lien, and the fine will continue to accrue until he comes into compliance. Then once he's in compliance, he'll have to go before the county commissioners to address the lien on the property. So it leaves your space and goes into a different space.
This is to issue the lien, so our options are not a lot. We either issue the lien, what are our options?
That's really the only option you have. The property is still out of compliance. It's a little different if the property were in compliance, because then you can address any fine that's accrued. But at this point, unfortunately, the fine's going to continue to run.
But right. I would be asking for a motion on issuing a lien, right?
Right, so you either issue a lien or you don't issue a lien. That's the only thing you can do today.
I move to accept the
give you 7
staff's
days to do
recommendation and issue the lien.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't ask for it, but I went ahead and said it.
No, that's okay. What was the motion?
I move to accept the staff's recommendation and issue the lien and move forward.
And that doesn't stop him from trying to come into compliance, and then as soon as he's in compliance, reach out to the inspector, and then at that point, she can stop the lien and explain to him what the next step is to address the lien.
Okay, so we still have the second.
My question would be, do you understand that?
I don't understand what the meaning of the lien is. What is, it's not a fine that I have to pay, it's it's a lien towards,
It's attached to the property,
so if I were to sell the property, I'd have to pay it then,
yes.
and only then?
You can't give him legal advice. Yeah, you need to speak to someone that can explain that to you. And the officer may be able to help a little and direct you in the right place, but the board can't give you
So you
advice.
guys can issue a lien, but you can't explain it to me?
She'll explain to you what happens if the lien goes into place. It's against your property, but there are ways to handle it once you're in compliance. Okay?
Okay, so we have a motion on the table, second by Mr. Ross, second by Mr. Bates. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Sir, that's what we've done. Again, get with Officer Hill as far as what it takes to stay in compliance. Do that as quickly as you can, and she'll offer what she can as far as the next step. It's going to be a path that doesn't come in front of these folks here, so.
Okay.
But there is another way for you to try to handle it at that point.
For the record, my property doesn't look any different. There's properties all around me with grass. There's grass all around. I live in Geneva. It's the country. We're not in a neighborhood. We're not in the city. You know, I don't even understand why I'm here, honestly.
I understand, sir, but
The gun range across from me is county property, and its grass is over your head.
Good luck.
I don't have $3,400.
the next case is on page 5. It will be item number 6, I believe. Let me make sure I got the right one.
Two.
Page 2 be item number 1, case number 22-29 CEB, Ayman Al-Haj. Oh, there it is. All my pages are stuck together. Okay, and again, we're now onto the list of people that are not here. This is, again, case number 22-29 CEB, Ayman Al-Haj, 5080 Markham Road, Sanford, Florida, 32771. Officer Tamulonis.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Joanne Tamulonis, Code Enforcement Officer, Seminole County Sheriff's Office. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this PowerPoint to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case number 2229 CEB. The respondent is Ayman Al-Haj. The property is located at parcel number 36192950G000000 in Sanford. This is a repeat violation. Chapter 95 of Seminole County Code, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A, which is rubbish. And the first Code Enforcement Board order was on July 8th, 2022. That did come into compliance. The repeat violation, initial inspection was on July 27th, 2023, with a repeat letter to the respondent on 8/2/2023. Follow-up inspection was on 8/15/2023, and the rubbish was no longer on the subject property during my follow-up inspection on 8/15/23, which was actually in agreement with Mr. Al-Haj's statement that the rubbish was removed sometime on 8/9/2023 when he left me a voicemail as I had instructed him to as soon as it was in compliance. I was unable to get out there until 8/15, so between those two dates is how you will see this addressed. This is the picture taken on 7/27/2023. You see in the background on the asphalt is a mattress. And on 8/15/2023, the mattress is removed. So the suggested recommendation by the Code Enforcement Officer is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2229 CB, it is determined that the respondent, Ayman Al-Haj, is the owner of record of the property located at parcel ID 36192950G000000, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, and in possession or control of the property, and was in repeat violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. And further recommend that the Code Enforcement Board, based on the findings of fact, conclusions of law and order that was issued on July 8th, 2022, the Code Enforcement Board issue an order imposing a fine in the amount of $14,000 for 14 days of a repeat violation at $100 per day from the 7/27/2023 through and including August 9th, 2023.
I think you meant 1,400, not 14,000?
1,400.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Yes, indeed, for the record, 1,400. I also have Well, I did speak to Mr. Alhaj. He is not in the state, so I was able to contact him by phone as well and discuss this, which is why he was able to get it taken care of by August 9th. And I do have admin costs of $180 to submit to the clerk. And the clerk's admin costs were $117 as well, if that would be considered by the board.
180 and 117?
Yes.
297 total.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been in continuous compliance since August the 9th?
Yes.
I'm assuming he is, I think I know where this road is. He's having problems with people dumping, maybe?
It appears that somebody's illegal dumping, and if you saw in the picture, there was like a hog wire fence across the driveway, but apparently somebody went around it through the grassy area.
Are you asking for those additional expenses in addition to the 1,400, or is that, those are included in the 14?
Yes, in addition.
In addition to or in place of?
Well, I believe it can be in addition to.
Okay.
That is the board's prerogative.
Okay, so she's asking for 1,400 plus 297.77. And then another option is if you chose to, you could reduce it to administrative cost, which is the 297.77.
Yeah, and just for the record, normally, when they come into compliance, we would strongly consider reducing the administrative cost. This is a little odd component because it came out of, it's a repeat violation. On the other hand, it also may be a illegal dumping situation. So I just want to share that with everybody for whatever it's worth. But normally, when you hear administrative costs being proffered, it's because they're in a compliance. But in this case, the staff's recommendation would be for the 1,400 and the administrative costs. Is that correct?
It was, because it is a repeat violation. It is totally up to the Code Enforcement Board, however.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Is it possible to reduce the fine?
You can do anything you want with that, yeah. Now that it's in compliance, that's the goal, yeah.
If you don't mind, I'd like to make the motion that we do the fine at 700 plus the administrative cost.
I will second it.
any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, the motion is to find that there is a violation. However, changing the recommended penalty to being $700 is the fine plus an administrative cost of $297 total, which would be $997 as the final fine. All understand that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done. That
To be
case-
paid within 30 days?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, to be paid within 30 days. Let me find when that will be.
I'll make arrangements for payment.
Which would be to be paid by January 13th, 2024. Is everybody still good with that? Do we need to do it again? Everybody good with whoever made the motion? No?
What was that date again?
To be paid by January 13th, 2024.
13th, thank you.
Okay, we're done with that one.
Thank you.
Well, the only
you.
question would be, since he's out of town, do we know where to send it so he can pay it?
Yeah, she seems to have a big
Okay.
relationship with him, yeah.
Okay, brings us to item number 2 on the agenda. It'd be case number 22-31 CEB Unique Painting INV LLC, Balgram Ram Gobin, registered agent, 2903 Oak Lane, Fern Park, 32730. Officer Adair. I'm sorry, are you new here?
New, yes.
Oh, welcome, I'm sorry. I missed the new people and people leaving, so. Welcome to
Took
the
over
club.
for Dorothy.
Good to meet you.
So I'm Officer Adair, Seminole County Code Enforcement South Region. For the record, I'm submitting this copy of PowerPoint as Exhibit A. So this is case 22-31 CEB, Unique Painting, INV, LLC. The violation is located at 2903 Oak Lane in Seminole County, Florida, as determined through the property appraiser's office. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation in excess of 8 inches in height. The initial code board order was July 8th, 2020. I'm sorry. Initial code board order was on July 8th, 2022. I first observed the repeat violation on July 13th, 2023. I sent out a repeat letter to the respondent later that day, July 13th, 2023. I conducted a follow-up inspection on August 7th, 2023, and on November 21st, 2023, when I posted the property. The results of the inspections were that the uncultivated vegetation was no longer in violation, and they came into compliance. These digital images were taken on July 13th, 2023, and you could observe the vegetation in the front and right side of the property. This was taken on August 7th, 2023, when they came into compliance 25 days after the initial inspection. This was on November 21st when I posted the property. They're still in compliance. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 22-31-CEB. It is determined that the respondent is the owner of the record of property located at 2903 Oak Lane, located in Seminole County, as determined as property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and was in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3B. And it is further recommended the Code Enforcement Board, based on the findings of fact, conclusion, law, and order issued on August 24th, 2022, the Code Enforcement Board issue an order imposing a fine in the amount of $6,250 for 25 days of repeat violation at $250 per day from July 13th through and including August 7th, 2023. I would like to submit the affidavit of cost for as Exhibit B. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Again, similar question to what Mr. Ross had. Is your recommendation, and we haven't heard the costs yet, for the $6,250 plus costs? It's in compliance now, so, but is this similar to the last case? The staff's recommendation is $6,250 plus the administrative costs?
Yes. So based off of the previous finding, the person I took over for, they were having a lot of issues with this property. So I would recommend doing the $6,200 plus the admin cost.
I'm assuming, Officer Hill, we're going to start having admin costs attached to the, not that it matters, no? Okay.
All right.
So,
Okay.
I'm sorry, so on this one, your administrative costs between the sheriff's office and the clerk total $263.50.
Officer Hill, did you look like you were trying to say something? You got it. These are to consider both of those together, right? No. Okay. So that's sharing with us if we want to go another route due to being in compliance.
Okay.
Again, this is a repeat violation. I would like to see the picture of the violation again, because when I looked up, it was gone, and I didn't see a lot. I'm just curious what it looks like. So if everybody understands that.
There it is.
Okay. The other, The other one was the violation, or is this?
Correct. That's it in compliance. The first two were in violation. The grass is up to the sign, like
One
the
on the
seed
right
pods.
side.
Okay.
The picture on the right, our right
Okay.
side.
Okay.
The picture on the left with the sign has the seed pods growing up to the base of it, and then the one on the right is more of like on the property line. The opposing neighbor had like cut their lawn, and that's showing the grass up to it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay,
And they've been in continuous compliance since August?
Correct.
okay, so what we're being asked to consider by staff is $6,250 for 25 days of non-compliance. They are in compliance now. Admin cost, if the board wanted to consider that, would be $263.50. And this was a repeat violation. That's where we're at.
I'd like to make the recommendation that we reduce the fine to $3,000 and include the admin cost.
I'll second it.
Okay, so the motion on the board by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr. Ross, to find that there was a violation, however, reducing the recommended fine amount to a total of $3,263. That's inclusive of a $263 admin. Everybody good, understand? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's what we've done, sir.
Is there a payment
Thank
date
you.
included?
30 days, don't forget.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr.
Paid by
Dudley.
January 13th, 2020.
What was that date, Mr. Dudley? Paid by January 13th, 2024.
Mr. Adair, good job, thank you.
Today's the 7th.
He's taking over for Inspector Hurd's section.
Well, he did well for his
Right?
first presentation.
Yeah.
Very good.
And big shoes to fill with Dorothy
Yeah,
Hurd.
Dorothy, yeah, she's a sweetheart. Okay, the next case is item number 6. That'll be case number 23-32 CEB, Mary T. DC, 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. Officer Judges, yours again.
Tamara Judges, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2332 CEB, Mary T. DC. The violation is located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida 32792. The violation charge is Seminole County, Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3E, abandoned vehicles. Listed are my initial inspection, notice to respondent, compliance date, follow-up inspections, with the last one being on December 6, 2023. Results of the follow-up inspections, the inoperable vehicle remains on the property. And then these are the pictures of the vehicle that is in Ms. DC's driveway. This is a picture of my postings on November 21st, 2023. And my pictures from yesterday. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2332 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Mary T. DC, is the owner of the record of property located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3E. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2332 CEB, it is determined that the respondent, Mary T. DC, is the owner of the record of the property located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's record, in possession and control of the property, and was in violation of the property. It is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight, January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must be the respondent's vehicles must be operable or stored in a garage, carport, or permitted structure. The vehicles can also be removed from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact Code Enforcement Officer Tamara Judges to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, and there's 2 more cases for this respondent. So before she moves to the next one, any questions on this one for, who do we have here?
Judges.
Officer Judges. No? Okay, just go to the next one, and then we'll do them one at a time after that.
Okay. Tamara Judges, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This is case 2333 CEB, Mary TDC. The violation is located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida 32792. The violation charge is Seminole County Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation. Listed is my inspection date, notice to respondent, compliance date, follow-up inspections, with my latest being on December 6, 2023. Results of the following inspections: the uncultivated vegetation is still not in compliance. Here are some pictures of the uncultivated vegetation. This is a picture of my posting on November 21st, 2023. And these are the sides of the house as well from yesterday. She's not home and I wasn't able to get to the neighbors, so this is zooming in to show. If you see the right-hand picture where the chairs are, there's a brick wall that's Lake Howell Branch behind her property. You can't even see the brick wall because the vegetation is so high. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2333 CEB. Is it determined that the respondent, Mary TDC, is the owner of the record of property located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.3, as defined in 95.3B. The suggested recommendation by the Code Enforcement Officer is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in 2333 CEB. The owner, Mary TDC, is the owner of the property at 1562 Lawndale Circle, is in possession and control of the property, and was in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, 95.4 as defined in 95.3B. And is further recommend that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must have vegetation 8 inches or below. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact Code Enforcement Officer Tamara Judges to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions on this one? And just to make sure we're clear, this one we just heard was case number 23-33 CEB. Bring us to the third one, and then we'll come back and wrap it up with whatever fines, if any. This will be item number 8, 23-34 CEB. Same respondent, same address. Officer Judges, whenever you're ready.
Tamara Judges, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, East Region Code Enforcement. For the record, I am submitting a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This case is 2334 CEB, Mary TDC. The violation is located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, Winter Park, Florida 32792. The violation charged is Seminole County, Chapter 95, Section 95, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. Again, my initial inspection, notices to respondent, compliance date, follow-up inspections, with my latest being December 6, 2023. Results of the follow-up inspections, the rubbish is still on the property. And here are pictures of the rubbish at the home. This is a picture of my posting on November 21st, 2023. My pictures from yesterday. The suggested recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2324 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Mary T. DC, is the owner of the record of the property located at 1562 Lawndale Circle, located in Seminole County, as determined by property appraiser's record, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. And it's further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of January 4th, 2024. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must remove the rubbish from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact Code Enforcement Officer Tamara Judges to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. I also just wanted to give you a little information. In the beginning, I did give Ms. DC a little more time in the beginning as she was dealing with an unexpected death of her fiance. Ms. DC has been in the Seminole County Jail since October 25th, 2023, but before Ms. DC was taken into custody, she had ample time to bring the property into compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions on this third one? Jail. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
She's still in the jail?
Yes, ma'am, she's still in
Do we know
custody.
when she's expected to be released?
I'm not sure. Due to her charges, she might be sent to prison.
So she won't be out before January 4th?
I don't think so, but I'm not sure. She does have a bond, it's just no one has paid
I
the
got you.
bond.
I understand.
And she's still the owner of the property.
Right.
And responsible for the property.
Okay, so let's take them one at a time. We'll call the first one that was presented here, the abandoned vehicle case. That's 23-32 CEB. The compliance, recommended compliance was, I see here, okay, January 4th, or a $100 per day fine is staff's recommendation.
I move the staff officer's recommendation.
Have a motion by Mr. Bates to accept the staff's recommendation as presented.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Ross. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Ms. Townsend is nay on that. The second case is item number 723-33 CEB. Same respondent, same address. We'll call this the uncultivated vegetation. The recommendation on this one by staff is compliance by January 4th, or $50 per day fine. Is there a recommendation on this one?
I move the staff recommendation.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Mr. Ross to accept staff's recommendation as presented, including finding that there was a violation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
And a nay by Ms. Townsend. And then item number 8, 23-34 CEB, same respondent, same address. This is the rubbish case, same recommended compliance date by January 4th, or a $100 per day fine on this one. Is there a motion?
Move the staff recommendation.
By Mr. Bates, second by Mr.
I'm going to miss it. I'll second
You know
it.
someone's not going to do it.
I'll second it. I just
There's only
wanted to,
3 of
He was
you.
how far?
I'm not allowed to talk.
I had to get you, man. I'll second it.
That'll be good. Second by Mr. Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay by Ms. Townsend. Okay. Is that it?
It's always better let Mr. Bates get all the nays.
Page 7.
Page 7, looks like we
Item
have
9.
one more, item 9, which is case number 23-43, CEB Shannon and Diana Mott, 3046 Holiday Avenue, Apopka, Florida, 32703. And Officer Navarro.
Officer Bavaro, Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement. For the record, I've submitted a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. Case 2343 CEB, Shannon E. and Diana L. Mott. The property is located at 3046 Holiday Avenue. Violation charge of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined at 95.3E, which is abandoned vehicles. Initial inspection was on 4/27/23. Notice was issued on 6/1 and 6/22/23. Compliance date of 6/12 and 7/9 of 23. Most recent inspection as of 12/5/23 revealed that the abandoned vehicle remained on property. Images you're about to see accurately depict the violations on the dates in which they were taken. This one on 4/27/23 depicting the Champagne SUV with a flat tire. And then another one from the other side on 6/21/23, again, same vehicle with a flat tire. Vehicle in the same position on 7/11/23 with a flat tire. And then the notice of posting on, just a regular image on 9/14/23. This was the posting from the hearing prior, showing the vehicle still has a flat tire. And then the posting for this hearing done on 11/20/23 by Officer Henson, showing that the vehicle remains abandoned. I have reached out to the property owners via phone at least 7 times, and then in person a few times. I went by after the property was posted and the posting had been removed, so I know they're getting the notification. I haven't spoke to them at all. So, based on testimony and evidence presented in case number 2343 CEB, it's determined that the owner is the owner of record of the property located at 3046 Holiday Avenue, located in Seminole County, in possession and control of the property, and in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, is defined in 95.3E. Request the board issue an order for compliance by midnight of December 22nd, 2023. In order to comply, they must remove, repair, or place the abandoned vehicle within a garage or permanent carport. If they fail to comply with this order, a fine of $100 a day be imposed. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Bavaro? Mr. Bates?
Officer, just curious, is there a set standard for how long something like this goes on before it reaches here? I mean, do you have a cutoff dates and things to where you would say, okay, they have not gotten into compliance after 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is?
Every case is unique. Every circumstance is unique. Some people have medical emergencies that we would grant more time. Some people don't. So all the circumstances I mean, we do have a policy, so to speak, that says this is how we would ideally like this to go. And in the real world, it doesn't always go that way. But,
Okay.
yeah,
Did I see correctly, this has been going on since April?
correct.
And along those lines, I guess, I thought I heard you say this posting was from the case prior.
So there was a hearing scheduled for this case 2 months ago. The Seminole County Planning and Division Development Manager, I believe, at the time, requested this be continued to this month. So that would contribute a little bit to why we're here in
I just wondered if it was a
December.
repeat or not.
Nope, nope, it was just continued by the county, at the county's request.
Okay.
I would make the motion, we accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr. Bates, to accept staff's recommendation at the compliance date of December 22nd, or 2023, or $100 per day fine. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And I think, is that, am I correct? I think that
Yep.
concludes it. Okay. Let's see, approval of the September 27th, 2023 minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr.
You
Ross.
can't second because you weren't there. Were you at September?
I thought I missed the October one.
Oh, was it? Okay. No? Okay, sorry. I take it back. You can do that.
He's on it today.
Yeah, I know. I love it. All of you are on it. This is a great meeting.
Okay, so second by Mr. Ross. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Let's see, confirmation date of the next meeting would be January 25th, 2024.
Please look at the front of your books. I think everyone should have the calendar for next year.
Yeah, take a look at those dates if
You can take it with you, please, or take a picture and send it to your staff. Note, there is going to be a meeting in June,
No?
which is out of the ordinary because my understanding, the FACE conference has been moved to this earlier week, so there won't be a conflict. We've always had June off as a board because there's been a conflict with the code officer FACE conference, but there will not be in June. There's still that meeting change in November and December, where there's no meeting in November and an earlier one in December. So please take this with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong. If you can't make it, just let the clerk know as soon as you can't. It's important that we get all our positions filled. We have a vacant position, so it's important to get that one filled. And so the hope is that everyone here will want to come back, and you'll be hopefully, I guess you'll know by next Tuesday if you've been reappointed. And then if you know of anyone who would like to volunteer, there's an open vacant position. Yes, sir.
I was just going to say, Commissioner Constantine told me last evening, he asked me if I would care to be reappointed, and I said I would. And so he said he was going to take care of that, because I know my official off date is next month, but he said that he would take care of that.
Great.
So
Good. Thank you.
I will
Excellent.
be continuing.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you for your service.
And then the election is going to be, when are we going to do?
I think we need to do it once we know who's actually been reappointed
Right,
and
next.
appointed. So let's shoot for January.
Okay, so tentatively January, and then I guess Liz will come up, somebody somehow will,
If not-
it'll be on the calendar, I guess, if
Yeah.
we have it January.
Yeah, and really, I mean, according to our bylaws, we're supposed to do it in March, but I always think it's a good idea to have a backup plan in case the chairman can't be here. But we definitely need to do it by March. And then we'll work on a workshop as well. As soon as we know who's been reappointed, and if we have any new appointments, we'll work on a workshop date for probably February or March as well.
And then anything else on new business or nothing?
Anything else, Clerk? Will you approve the hearing dates?
The dates that I proposed.
Do you want us to go do that now?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, ma'am. Can we make a motion to approve those dates?
Second.
Yeah, and a fourth. It's unanimous.
That's all, yeah.
I would ask one thing, just review them again when you get to your office or home or wherever, and let Liz know if you run into a problem with any of those dates. The sooner would be the better.
Yes.
And that's it, we adjourn?
Like a couple of days before the date that you can't make it.
Adjourn? Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.